I think it's important to have an action agenda on this very important issue of fighting gun violence. We need to end the silence about the violence. I live in Austin on the west side of Chicago. I was at 2 churches this morning talking about this very issue that afflicts our city, our state, our country, our world. And it is the duty of all of us to band together for the common good. And that's why we're here. We have to put together an action agenda. And I do want to thank Senate President John Cullerton, my friend, for his commitment and hard work and his ability to pass laws. He knows how to do it. And we have to work together to pass the bill through the Senate. Senator Dan Katowski, a champion on this issue, is with us here today. A couple of the bills are sponsored by Dan in the Senate. And then in the House, we have to pass the bills. My good friend LaShawn Ford, who lives in the west side where I live, is one of the advocates, along with Kelly Cassidy, Representative Cassidy, who's with us, and our champion of champions for many years in the federal Congress, Jan Schakowsky. She's here. And I think it's very important that we get the City Council and the County Board involved. I see Alderman Joe Moore with us. You know, the only way to beat a powerful lobby is to organize. Early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and organize. And I think that's the way to do it. It doesn't say that up on the wall there. It says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think that's part of what the golden rule is. We do have to pass the legislation that's been outlined here in your pamphlets, and there's some more bills, too. We've got to ban assault weapons in Illinois and high-capacity ammunition magazines. We had a young sailor from Crystal Lake, John Larimer, a very good man. I was at his wake. He was in the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado at midnight when that gunman with a high-capacity clip came in with an assault weapon and killed 12 people, including John Larimer, and wounded 70 more. He put his body in front of his girlfriend to save her life. So we've got to show in Illinois that we understand the importance of what happened in Newtown, as well as in Colorado, as well as in Arizona, that these particular weapons are unacceptable. So that's another part of our agenda. There's one called Lost and Stolen. We want, that's part of Dan's bill. We do not want guns that are lost or stolen to go unreported. And a variety of other common sense measures that we have until the 31st of May to pass. And it's very important that we work together on this because, as you know, there are groups in Springfield that come and don't want any reform. They don't want any changes. So we have to show by democracy that we represent the majority of the people of Illinois. So I look forward to working with everybody here and everybody we can summon in the best traditions of Abraham Lincoln's democracy to make the will of people the law of the land. Thank you.
And I'm happy to be here because there's nothing more important. Really, in this session, this is one of the major topics. And I'll just give you, as you probably already know this, we are the only state in the nation that doesn't have a conceal and carry law. I'm really proud of that. And I would have been happy to kept it that way, but the Seventh Circuit said that our ban on carrying ready-to-use firearms in public violates the Second Amendment and the right to keep and bear arms for purposes of self-defense, which I don't agree with. They said that we would have till June 9th, 2013, to craft a new gun law. And if we didn't, we are the Wild West. We would have no ban at all. And when they issued their opinion, they said that the Second Amendment right to self-defense extends to the right to self-defense in public. And they said that our blanket prohibition on conceal and carry prevents a person from defending themselves other than in their home, and it's a curtailment of their right to self-defense. I don't agree with this decision. But they said that we have to pass a law. But here's what they did say when they said we have to pass law. Here's what they allowed us to do. We may ban firearms in particular sensitive places. We may ban obviously dangerous persons, such as felons or people who are mentally ill, from obtaining firearms. We may require permits that establish competence in handling firearms. We may allow private businesses and establishments to ban guns from their premises or limit concealed carry privileges to individuals who have a bona fide reason to carry it in public. So this is what our task is. This is what we're working on. Senator Katowski, who is here, has been the leading senator in our state in advocating for strong, reasonable limitations on weapons. He was able to pass a bill a number of years ago, which we will hopefully pass again, limiting the number of the size of these magazines that can be in guns. That's a bill we're going to have to pass this year as well. And I'm going to work with Senator Katowski to do that. Now, it's true that we have a big Democratic caucus, the largest Democratic caucus in the history of our state, the largest caucus, Senate caucus in the United States. But not all the Democrats in my caucus agree. And therefore, we're going to have to work with our members. But I can tell you that I am going to join with Senator Katowski and reach as many reasonable limitations that this court has limited us to do. Thank you very much for inviting me.
My name is Mike Byer. I'm the principal of Morill Elementary, which serves 850 students in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade on Chicago's southwest side. We are a part of SWAP, the Southwest Organizing Project. This is only my second year at Morill, and I'm very proud of the improvements we have made. The school has been on academic probation for most of the previous 12 years. In my first year, we raised test scores and attendance. We instituted restorative justice practices, and we brought back sports. I'm a fairly young principal, but I've dedicated my life to improving the lives of my students. Our faculty and staff are also dedicated to giving our students the best education possible. But we face a significant obstacle, in that many of our students come to school with scars. The scars they bear are physical, psychological, and emotional. In the mere 20 months I've been the principal of Morill, I've met two young men, at the time both 8th graders, who graduated from Morill and went to high school only to be gunned down, slaughtered in the street. There are 7 students that I know of that are currently enrolled in my school who bear physical scars from bullets tearing through their flesh. Both years I've been principal, we've had a student walking with crutches, having suffered multiple gunshots. Last year, it was a 4th grader who had to carry a colostomy bag for several months. That's not what I remember in 4th grade. This is an elementary school. My students are children. They're not even teenagers. But the incident that I will always remember is when I heard over the radio that there were gunshots near our school. It was after school, but still in broad daylight. I went to the scene, which was just across the street from our school. Paramedics were on the porch of a house working feverishly to save a life. After they stabilized the victim, they lifted his fragile body and carried him to the ambulance. The victim was one of our students. He was 7 years old. He was in 1st grade. He had been eating ice cream on the front porch of his house in broad daylight across the street from our school, and he was nearly murdered. The child's name is Derek, and fortunately he survived, but he has missed months of school due to recovery and missed months more because he's now afraid to walk to school, which is across the street from his home. His academic ability has suffered, but he's not alone. Nearly every challenging student in our school has lost a loved one due to gun violence or has personally witnessed gun violence. The cycle of poverty is synonymous with a cycle of violence. If you don't want to pay for welfare or social services, then help stem the flow of guns to our neighborhood. We need to act now. Do it for Derek. He deserves the right to eat ice cream on his front porch and walk to school without fear. Thank you.